Welcome to the premiere episode of Lubbock Symphony Presents ClefNotes. My name is Clint Barrick. I'm sitting in the host chair today, but the person who will host this show on a continuing basis is sitting next to me. It's Galen Wixon. He is the president and CEO of the Lubbock Symphony Orchestra. And this is a project between Lubbock Public Media and the LSO, where we're going to be doing radio shows and podcasts about all of the events that are taking place, not only with the orchestra, but sort of behind the scenes as well. So you get to know the people and the movers and the shakers of the orchestra, including some of the orchestra players, board members, supporters. Just find out what it takes to make a symphony orchestra a great organization like we have. Galen, welcome to the show.
Hey, Clint. It's so great to be here. I'm so honored to be part of this project. We're so thrilled. The Lubbock Symphony is so excited to work with Classical 105.7 on this podcast, and we're going to share everything we can to make people feel more at home with the LSO. So we're really excited about this.
Well, we want people to know exactly what's going on with the orchestra so they can attend and enjoy your concerts and really revel in all of the things that you bring to our community.
Yeah, that's great.
That's one of the things that we want to do here today, right?
That's right. We're looking forward to this concert.
Great. Well, speaking of the concert,
Yes.
there is a concert coming up, not too distant future. It's a concert devoted to music by Verdi from his opera Rigoletto.
That's right.
And some other things. Tell us about the concert.
So the concert will be on January 18th, Saturday evening, at the Buddy Holly Hall. And this concert will be, I go beyond the Verdi. It's an Italian sort of love fest, so we're going to have a lot of fun featuring some Italian works. We'll open the concert with a couple of works by Ottorino Respighi, and we'll include The Birds and The Fountains of Rome, which are just, classic. The Birds is so beautiful and light and reflective of traveling down the Appian Way and hearing all of the nature around you. And then The Fountains of Rome, of course, that rollicking, wild piece, just as a sort of this feeling of being in Rome and being around the fountains and all of the chaos that goes on a daily basis. And so it's so much fun and expressive, and the instruments really get to sort of play parts in that tone poem. So we're really excited about doing the fountains as well.
Right. The thing about Respighi that I've always loved, he has a very unique and wonderful way of musical description.
That's right.
So that when you're around the Trevi Fountain, he writes music that is so Trevi Fountain.
It is. It really is.
And it really is a wonderful travelogue of these fountains, the various fountains of Rome.
That's it.
And then when you get a chance to see them, you can put it all together. At least that's been my experience.
I think you're right. And now I've never been to Rome. On the other hand, you hear all of this atmospherics and all of the characters that he brings into this almost play. And it's so much fun. And you just say, I think I want to go there. I really want to see what this is.
And it's fun for the players, too. It's a great piece to actually physically play.
It is. And very active, sweeping, these sweeping moments. And then, of course, the huge ending with the brass just sort of taking the roof off the place.
Right, exactly.
It'll be a lot of fun.
And people will love The Birds as well. It's another wonderfully atmospheric piece.
It is.
Familiar people will know it even if they don't know
Exactly
it.
right. It's one of those, you say, you'll know it once you hear it.
Right.
You hear excerpts of it in commercials and movies and all over the place. So it's really one of those where you say, oh, yeah, I know what that is. I've heard that before. But very descriptive. You talk about birds. Yes, this is what the bird calls that you hear throughout the work of art. It's a beautiful, light little piece. So I'm really excited to hear what we do with this.
Right. So the conductor is David Cho.
David Cho,
Right.
and he will bring his usual charm and preparation to the orchestra. We start rehearsals on January 13th, which is a Tuesday evening. Folks probably aren't that familiar with the entire process, as we have a little more time to extrapolate how things work throughout the week. We start with 4 days of rehearsals before the concert itself. With the Buddy Holly Hall, we've adjusted our rehearsal schedule a bit so that we do several of our rehearsals, 3 of the rehearsals, in fact, at the Civic Center or another venue, so to free up the nights at the Buddy Holly Hall.
Right.
Dress rehearsal then takes place at Buddy Holly Hall, and then the concert, of course, the next night. That has worked pretty well. It's challenging, of course, because the acoustics are vastly different one hall to the other. And you're always biting your nails because sometimes the repertoire is very difficult for the orchestra to get around. And then suddenly you throw in this dynamic of a new hall that they have to play in and play in well the next night. We wanted to get as close to perfect. We strive for perfection. Of course, we never reach it, but we want the orchestra to feel comfortable and solid. I would say typically it takes 5 to 10 minutes for the orchestra to say, oh, yeah, I remember where I am now, and how this new acoustic works. Because you're getting a lot of new information. Suddenly you're hearing things that you didn't hear, and you're not hearing things that you were hearing. So it's a big adjustment for the orchestra to take, but they do it very quickly with as much, I would say, aplomb as any orchestra I've heard in adjusting to a new environment like that so quickly.
Well, this is the kind of thing that I love about this program is we now have the time to talk about how all of these things get together. People probably didn't realize, there's a week of rehearsal.
That's right.
And you're not rehearsing actually in the hall. You're rehearsing somewhere else.
That's right.
And that also tells people that the Buddy Holly Hall is full of events itself.
It is
There's
so active.
Things happening.
It is so active and so busy, and they struggle as much as we do to get things scheduled in and give everybody airtime in the new hall. And so we want to help balance that. We started a little bit differently this year with a Thursday night concert for the very reason that one, you've got tons of football games going on in the fall. And Thursday, obviously doesn't interfere with that. It doesn't. We don't get in the way and they don't get in our way. So that was helpful. But also it gives the Buddy Holly Hall another weekend night that they can have another program in there that brings in an audience that they really want to attract and help support their hall too.
Right. Well, that's excellent. So we've started in Italy with Respighi's tone poems, and more Italian music on the way in the concert as well.
That's right. So then the second half of this concert is then this kind of highlights of Rigoletto. We're not going to fully stage the opera. Never our intention. Our intention was to give the sort of the high points of this opera with several of the arias, duets. There's a quartet, and so we've pulled together this cast of singers to do these highlights of Rigoletto, and I think that what you will hear is so exciting. And we've got this quartet coming from, they've come from all over the world. 3 of them have lived here. Amanda Key, who is from Lubbock, spent time in Europe, has come back to Lubbock to live, and fantastic soprano. And then we have our mezzo Alice Ann Light, who teaches at Tech. Jerry Dolter, also recently removed from Tech, now enjoying retirement in the Austin area, but will come back to Lubbock to spend some time with us again. And then we have our tenor, Richard Truxell. He's traveling here from Philadelphia, and Richard has been here before, Madame Butterfly, La Boheme. So some more Italian operas, but Richard is a great tenor, has great stage presence, but also knows sort of how to get the ensemble working very smoothly along with the orchestra. So his wisdom and experience is always valued on the stage as well. Yeah.
Great. A great quartet of singers. There is a specifically a quartet that's very famous in the opera Rigoletto.
That's right.
And the arias as well. Tell us about some of those.
So, Clint, some of the arias that we'll be hearing include the duet, and you'll have to forgive my Italian, Figlia, mio padre, the duet Signor di Principi, the very famous aria Cara Nome, and also the very famous La Donna Immobile.
A famous tenor aria.
Very famous tenor aria. And so we're very excited about that. And it's one of those that you sort of live for. It's such a rollicking aria, but it's in an odd, it's such a happy piece of music while describing not such a happy thing going on in the action. So it's very unusual.
But everybody will know that. Even 100%. Children will know.
100%. And I'm not even going to try to sing it, but and then we'll have some more, a little bit of a break from the opera Rigoletto. We'll do a little march from Aida, and
great.
so we're going to hear that as well. So I would say that this is one of those where, again, you're not hearing the entire opera, you're hearing these highlights. I don't think anybody was going to miss a thing musically.
Right.
I think of course, they'll miss the sets, they'll miss the costumes, they'll miss the action, which, of course, it fills in the story.
Right.
Do I think this is something that we all need to see? Musically, yes. I wish that we had the resources to put together an entire opera, but I hope listeners understand that putting the sets and costumes on, it throws us into a new cost category that we would have to really plan for years in order to get the resources pulled together to put together a fully staged opera. One day, is it a goal? Absolutely. We want to do it. Are we ready yet? No.
Right.
But I think Buddy Holly Hall would be an amazing place with their pit,
Sure.
with the depth of their stage, and the number of rails that they have to fly things from above. It would be an amazing venue to do an opera.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But for the purposes of an orchestra concert, this is great.
Oh,
I think
yes.
we're going to hear all of the great pieces, the couple of big duets between Rigoletto and his daughter, Gilda.
Yes.
By the way, we should say this is a tragedy.
It is.
It's a tragedy on many levels.
It is, and it's sort of an ugly story.
Yes.
Rigoletto himself is a jester, a hunchback
He's
jester.
deformed,
He
yes.
is, and he's not a happy character, and he's not a nice guy, quite frankly. And so I want everybody to be prepared that this is not a comedy by any stretch. On the other hand, beautiful music.
Beautiful music, wonderful music, and the music is great, even if everything ends badly.
Right. Yes, as many operas do end with death. This one is no stranger to that.
Right. But you have a great cast.
We're so excited.
And the orchestra, conductor David Cho. It's going to be a wonderful evening.
It will
For
be.
people who want to get tickets, how can they do that?
They can go to our website, LubbockSymphony.org, click events or tickets, and you'll go right to the ticketing site. I want to caution people here because, again, we have a little bit of time. To get tickets, go to buddyhollyhall.org or to LubbockSymphony.org. If you go to any other site, you risk going to a bootleg ticket site, and we all boo those. They steal money from the customers. They also steal money from us because we're not getting the direct benefit of your ticket purchase. And so please be careful when you're out there purchasing tickets. You can also call our office, of course, at 806-762-1688. And again, please join us. It's going to be an amazing event. I think that this is one aspect of the symphony that we don't get to hear enough of operatic aria music. We've tried to expand our repertoire into other areas. We're doing new things. We want people to feel welcome. I don't want people to feel like they have to come in a suit and tie or a dress to enjoy this concert. Please come comfortably. You can get a beverage and a snack and actually bring it into the hall now, which is new to a lot of people. If you grew up in Lubbock and you listen to us at the Civic Center, you know that you couldn't bring in a snack or a drink, and we frowned upon it even. Now, we've loosened up the rules a little bit. We want people to be comfortable, enjoy the music as much as we enjoy playing it. We're trying not to be a stuffy orchestra organization. We want people in Lubbock to feel comfortable with their orchestra and that we are here to serve you. And please, if folks have interests in music that we aren't reaching, we'd love to hear those suggestions too. Those are always valuable to us because there are new ideas that, of course, we hadn't thought of or aren't aware of. And with zillions of YouTube videos out there of exciting orchestra events, there might be things that are just gems out there waiting for us to do. So we want to hear those ideas.
Absolutely. Tell us again the date of the concert.
Yes, it is Saturday, January 18th, Buddy Holly Hall.
All right, sounds great. Galen Wixon is the CEO and president of the Lubbock Symphony Orchestra. And today, he is in the guest chair on this premiere episode of the new radio show and podcast that is called The Lubbock Symphony Presents ClefNotes. In the future, Galen will be in the host chair, and we really, really look forward to that. Galen, this is going to be a great venture for us.
Thank you.
And we just can't wait to get started.
I can't even fit in your shoes in that or that chair, but I will do my best. And as I get more seasoned at that, hopefully I could be even a shadow of Clint Barrick's interviewing. So.
You're going to be great,
Thank
and the
you.
whole program is going to be great.
Thank
You're
you.
listening to the Lubbock Symphony Orchestra presents ClefNotes, the premiere episode.